Hey there, friends and family. I wanted to make another video for you, and this time I kind of wanted to explain to you why I'm back. I know that this trip to Pohnpei came about very, very quickly, and some of you may say, wait, I thought you just came back from there. Why are you traveling back to Pohnpei again? What are you doing? So let me just kind of explain to you why I'm here this particular time. About 2 weeks ago from the time I'm making this video, I'm not sure exactly when I'll have a chance to get it online, but on August 28th, I received a message on Facebook from a friend of mine who lives here on the island of Pohnpei. And they said, I don't know if you know this, but Dave Arthurs is very sick in the hospital, and it's life-threatening. For those of you who don't know, Dave Arthurs is the missionary who has run this radio station that I'm currently working in, and he's run it for the last 25 or 26 years here in the island of Pohnpei. He founded the station and has done a great work for the Lord, and actually has been in missions for, I believe, over 40 years or so now. Anyways, I got this message from this friend of mine here in Pohnpei saying that Brother Dave was sick, that it was life-threatening, and they said you should really consider coming back and helping them. So I did. I began praying that same day that God would give me direction and wisdom if it was His will. And by the end of that day, I really felt like God was starting to already give me direction. Over the next few days, that was on a Wednesday, the next few days I kept praying about it, and really Friday night I spent a lot of time in prayer, and I really felt that the Lord was directing me to go back. I wasn't sure how quickly it would happen. I wasn't sure exactly when I was needed. Then the next day on Saturday, I received an email from Ruth Ann Arthurs, and I also got several phone calls from some folks at the mission board the Arthurs are with, asking me if I would come and help. But one of the things that I really felt was that the Arthurs needed help much farther than just for a few weeks. They do have another couple and their young son who is on deputation, Gabe and Susan Iben. They are on deputation to come out here and take over this radio ministry, but right now they're at 47%. So it's going to be a little bit of time, maybe a year or so, until the Ibens will be able to get here. And I felt like the Arthurs' true need was for somebody to help them run the station at least until the Ibens would be able to get here and then take over the ministry. So anyways, that is the direction that I started to head. And Saturday night I received that email. I already had a good peace in my heart that the Lord was directing me to do that. And so Sunday, after talking to my parents, we made the decision that that is what I should do. On Monday, I began making preparations, checking plane tickets, trying to sell my vehicle. Again, this trip is going to be longer than just a few months. I'll probably be here somewhere in the neighborhood of a year and a half to 2 years. So, began making all those preparations, and as it turns out, Brother Dave Arthurs passed away and went to be with his Creator on Monday night. That was Eastern time. Actually, here in Pohnpei, it was Tuesday afternoon that he passed away and went to be with the Lord. At that point, I really decided it was time for me to even hurry up the process of packing and selling my vehicle, and I did that as quickly as possible. And I believe it was on Tuesday or Wednesday I finally purchased the ticket, and I flew out Saturday. So from the time that I found out Dave was in the hospital to the time that I actually landed on Pohnpei was about a week and a half. But I just have to tell you that I have utmost confidence that the Lord was in it. It was clear that He was directing and leading, and I feel very confident that I'm in the center of the Lord's will. Some of you know that I was actually here in Pohnpei in April and May of this last year, or actually of this year. And at the time I was very convinced that that was God's will for me, but I didn't necessarily understand why. I was here also, as you know, in 2009. And I thought, why, God, would you bring me back here in this year, 2013, 4 years later, for a month or two? And I came because I wanted to help the Arthurs, and I believed it was God's will. He made that clear to me. But I just, I was not sure why God had me to do that. And it's interesting how sometimes God doesn't always allow us to see why He allows certain things to take place in our lives. But in this particular case, I believe He allowed me to get a glimpse of that, because as I came back now, I was able to jump right in with both feet and start helping Ruth Ann. I mean, the day after I got here, I was able to jump in and start helping in the studio and things like that, because I was here in April, because I got my refresher course. If it had been 4 years since I had been here. You know, she would have had to retrain me and all these things, but since I was here just a few months ago, I was able to jump right back in, and it's great. I know the people, I know, you know, where to pick up workers, I know where to drop off workers, and it's really great. So I hope that gives you a little bit of an idea. Again, it all happened so quickly, but the reason I'm here is to help Ruth Ann out as she's lost her husband and needs help in the work of the ministry. Again, I'll be here 1.5 to 2 years probably. Again, I have no idea what the Lord holds in store for me in the coming months and years, but that's kind of my tentative plan. And I just trust that the Lord will use me here. And I trust that you've enjoyed learning a little bit about why I'm here in Pohnpei. Again, let me leave you with a few prayer requests. Again, continue to pray for Ruth Ann as she deals with the loss of her husband. They were married for 51 years. Please pray for us here at the studio. There's a lot of things that I'm having to learn even beyond what I'm already familiar with. And we're trying to, you know, make some upgrades and continue to move the station forward and not allow it to be stagnant. There's also a lot of cleaning out to do. There's a lot of old equipment sitting around that it's just time to clean up some things and get them onto somebody else who may be able to use them, and perhaps even throw some things away. So just pray for all of these things that are going on at the station as I'm getting settled in now, trying to really bear down in the work of the ministry here and be a big blessing to Ruth Ann and the other volunteer workers as well. So I just ask that you would continue to pray for me and stay tuned for some more videos.